Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we are doing our review for Forza Motorsport. Now on Xbox, PC, ROG Ally, Stream, everything you can imagine. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Now I paid $107 for this experience. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's some things that are kind of on my nerves right now. But not to an extreme that I'm like freaking out and regretting buying it or anything. Just I'm a little bit peeved at some of the choices that were made. So let me get into this first. We're going to start off with Forza Motorsport and Gran Turismo 7. So, ponies, I bet you thought this was going to be you were going to win. No. If you look at these side by side, clearly they look. We're just going to go ahead and call that a tie. That's one of the things that I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit peeved about with Forza Motorsport. So we're just going to call this a tie. I think they are both exceptionally wonderful games for each console ecosystem. They are both beautiful games. They both feel great to play. There's plenty of stuff to do in each of them. Gran Turismo's been out for well over a year, almost 2 years now. It's gotten more tracks. It's gotten more cars. It's just an all-around good racer. I gave it a 95 in my review. I thought it was absolutely incredible. The storyboard missions and all of that stuff, very fun. I like the way they set that up. I do kind of like the way that Forza Motorsport has set up their career mode too. I do kind of think that it's going to add a little bit of flavor to this experience. Me personally, I don't know if I'm going to jump into it and play all of that. At least not until there's like far more tracks on there. Forza Motorsport is going to be just like Gran Turismo. They're both being treated as games as service. That means you're going to get more cars, you're going to get more tracks over time. You're going to get updates that are going to fix some of the stuff that are. It's just going to be it's essentially a work in progress. And anybody that's buying this game day one, you are essentially buying into. Like for the first few months, it's going to be like you're buying into a beta. You're buying into a beta. So if that's something that's going to bug you, then it's going to bug you. Now let's go ahead and start talking about some of Gran Turismo 7, or not Gran Turismo 7, but Forza Motorsport here on the Xbox Series X. All the footage over here that we're watching right now between Gran Turismo and Forza Motorsport, these are both PS5 and Xbox Series X. The best of both. Forza Motorsport's running in the performance mode without ray tracing. There's some ray tracing stuff further into the video that we're going to touch on, that we're going to talk about, we're going to look at. But as you can see, the overall visual quality of what Forza Motorsport offers is 3D trees, but as you look at Gran Turismo on the other side, you're looking at 3D trees too. There's a few tracks on Gran Turismo that still utilizes the billboard trees very heavily, but there are multiple tracks in Gran Turismo that do now use 3D trees and pretty nice landscape. If you look at Forza Motorsport, the overall image quality to me looks more consistent. If you look at Gran Turismo, that car sticks out like a sore thumb against the backdrop and the world. Forza Motorsport does have significantly more detail in the background. There's no way to really cut that. Both of the skyboxes are looking pretty good. I am going to give the nod to Gran Turismo. In that regard, there are some beautiful sky caps that Gran Turismo definitely has. Forza Motorsport, it's almost like a tie, to be completely honest, but Gran Turismo does have a little bit better sky cap, I do think, in some of these overall experiences. Forza Motorsport is rocking Dolby Vision, and because of the time of day, I tried to get these two lined up. Gran Turismo's in the evening, Forza Motorsport is at noon. So it looks brighter, it looks a little bit more. A lot of people are saying washed out. I don't necessarily think it looks washed out. It just looks like the lighting is uniform. I mean, it's using that, what is it, the RTAO or something? But it looks good to me. Either way you look at these games and hold them up side by side, they both look absolutely incredible for the respective systems that they're on. I was not able to record any Xbox Series S footage. I will get you guys an Xbox Series S footage in the coming days. I'll probably run that side by side with the ROG Ally, try to play around with the ROG Ally settings to see if I can get them close enough. I do think that the Series S is easily going to beat the ROG Ally though. But when you look at what Forza Motorsport has to offer out of the gate, I gotta take some points for some things. Not having Nordschleife at launch, major freaking misstep for me, anyways. When you look at what's it called? When you look at some of the other tracks that are missing, you got like Bathurst is missing. You've got multiple tracks that are missing from Forza Motorsport, and that's like one of the first things that a fan like me, somebody that loves playing racing games and loves going to different tracks, I really hate feeling like I don't have enough content at launch for me to really sink my teeth in. And that's the way I absolutely feel with Forza Motorsport right now. What we're looking at is PC max settings, 4K, all the freaking trimmings. I'll let you guys watch this part and while I'm still talking, but when I feel like I don't have enough content, that kind of makes me a little bit uneasy. Now, I'm feeling the same way about Forza Motorsport right now that I felt about Assetto Corsa Competizione. When that first came out, we had a limited amount of tracks. You had to pre-order it just to get 4 of the known ones. That was kind of frustrating. What Forza Motorsport does have in it is sufficient for the most part, but I don't see myself playing through the campaign until there's more tracks, until there's more places that I want to drive. There are some, I really love, right now we're on Kailami. I really love Kailami. I think this is an incredible track. Very nice for people that want to get out there and really learn how to drive cars and really learn how to do some handling and stuff. There's, you got Suzuka in here. You've got Laguna Seca, but I mean, you're missing like Brands Hatch. Like, you're missing a significant amount of known tracks that are very good. I mean, you got Mugello, but normally I play that track on like bike racing games. So my overall feeling of just content in Forza Motorsport at launch, it feels pretty dang anemic, and I can't overlook that. Like, I can't just be like, yeah, man, it's gonna come. We're talking Gran Turismo launched with significantly more tracks than what we have here, and it had the Nordschleife in it, and that is big to me. That is very big. Like, I'm seriously ready to dock points from Forza Motorsport for that, but because they announced it before the game came out, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to rate the game based on what's here, based on what I can see, and based on what I can feel. Now, I went through, I spent like 2.5 hours playing around with my wheel setups. Played around with the Xbox with the Fanatec, with the DD Pro. That one feels pretty good, pretty decent, easy to get in there, get things kind of set up. But then I jumped over to the PC, so I had to take that off, so I ended up throwing on the Camus. So right now I was testing out the Camus LP8. That's the newest one I have to the studio. That's the newest one that Camus sent me, was the LP8. Getting in there and getting the LP8 set up with this game, for some reason, when I get in there, it wants to, it's almost like the setting for some maximum health in driving is set up, because it keeps wanting to pull the wheel whenever I go to turn, and that was getting annoying. I couldn't figure out a way to shut that off, so I'm going to have to hook up the Fanatec again and run that through on the PC build, or maybe hook up to like the C5 or the or the DDWB21, get some of these different wheels set up and try to get in there, because I'll tell you what, I was getting to a point. I even texted a few people in the community and told them I was mad. Like, I was freaking out. I was super mad. I was about ready to give up on this experience today. But I went ahead and I jumped on the controller. I got you some footage. There's a pretty good amount of controller footage that we're going over. Most of it, like, the controller feels really, really good on this game. Like, it feels like Forza, but it's better. Like, it feels just a little bit, what's the word for it? It feels just a little bit more consistent than it ever has before. When you go to hit the brakes, you're not sliding across the thing. It feels more tactile in a way that you've never felt Forza feel before. Like, it feels good, yet it feels like okay, it kind of feels arcadey, but at the same time, it feels a lot more sim this time than it ever has. Now, this game here is an interesting one. When it comes to this and Gran Turismo, when it comes to like force feedback and handling and all of that stuff, this is significantly better. Forza Motorsport is significantly better. The way it handles, the way the controls feel in your hand, even the haptic feedback from the Xbox controller, you get just as much feeling that you do from like Gran Turismo. It feels a little bit different, but it also feels, how do you say this? Like, it feels, like I said, it feels more tactile than it's ever kind of felt before. You do have a little bit more, it's not like significantly better than what Forza 7 was, but it's good enough that you're going to feel the difference. Like, you're going to feel the difference when you're driving, when you're making turns, you will still have to, if you're playing on a controller, you're still going to have to adjust the sensitivity of the steering and stuff, because it's still a little bit twitchy, but you can figure that kind of stuff out, get that all set up, and be able to really learn how to drive in the situations that are in here. That's why I added some of this like rain stuff in here, so that you guys can see that, like, yes, man, driving in the rain feels better, and it looks incredible. It absolutely looks incredible. This game is super beautiful. On the PC, this game is, oh my gosh, like knock dead gorgeous. But if you're going from Xbox Series X to the PC version, like it's not significantly better. You know what I mean? Like, it looks better, but it doesn't look so much better that you're like, oh man, I gotta run out and buy a PC right now to play Forza Motorsport. But it does look better, and you do get obviously a higher frame rate. Look at that, we're at 4K. We're getting almost 90 frames. Like, we're doing pretty good on this. I believe that I did have FSR quality on while running this. I believe I did. So now we are okay. Now I wanted to show you like another track. This one's dry. This is Catalunya. We're running this full pack, full 21 cars on the grid. This absolutely looks incredible. Now, if you look at the skybox up there, because I was talking about that with Gran Turismo, if you look at the skybox, I just kind of feel like this is the PC version, and I just kind of feel like Gran Turismo nailed that freaking skybox. Whereas Forza Motorsport, it looks good, it looks convincing, and it looks very, very nice. But there's just something about the way those clouds look on Gran Turismo that makes you look at them and be like, wow, man, that looks good. The clouds in the car look way out of place when it comes to Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo doesn't look bad, and you will see, Gran Turismo does look significantly sharper on a 4K screen. Forza Motorsport does look a little bit, definitely looks more soft, and that's kind of all right. You don't need it to necessarily look really super sharp and crisp, especially like the trackside detail and everything. The thing that you want to see sharp and crisp is going to be your car. Like, you're going to want that to kind of be like a little bit crisp, but you want like your surroundings. I kind of feel like Forza Motorsport. It's an improvement every step of the way from what it used to be, and the overall consistency between the car and the trackside detail, and then up into the skybox, it looks far more consistent than what Gran Turismo is. The only other game that like really holds up really well compared to like the new Forza Motorsport would be Assetto Corsa Competizione on the PC. Like, both of these games are absolutely incredible, brilliant. They're both brilliant. As my buddies from the UK would say, brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant the way the game looks. Now, I've been playing Forza Motorsport since the very first one. I've been playing Gran Turismo since the very first one. When it comes to these types of experiences, I can tell you right now, neither one of them feel like super fresh. They do just feel like iterations on what they've always been. And Forza Motorsport is no different from that. that. It is an extremely you can definitely tell that most of the work went into the handling, the physics, and like I kind of feel like they did. I kind of feel like that's where the labor of love went. Like remodeling the cars, a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff. They've worked pretty hard on this. Do I think there's room for improvement? Yes, definitely. Do I hope that they'll bring those improvements over the span of this? Yes, I do. I hope they do. I hope that they'll be able to come back now that the game is out. Maybe touch some of this stuff up. Maybe add more stuff. Maybe tweak the overall visual quality and settings a little bit, and see what more they can push out of the hardware. Because I don't really think that Xbox Series X is being fully utilized at this moment. I do feel like they the inclusion of like FSR3 could potentially boost frame rates. I am a little disappointed that we don't have a 1080p 120 FPS mode. I would really love to have that. I don't care if it's 1080p. I do believe that 120 FPS is significantly important for this experience. You do want that. You want, especially if you're on a wheel setup. If you're on a wheel setup, you definitely want 120 FPS support for this game, and I do think that I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, yeah, dude, let's get us a 1080p at 120 FPS, and maybe cut back on a little bit of the detail to get it there. But I do believe that Forza Motorsport really does need a 1080p mode at 120 frames a second. Gran Turismo has one. I don't see why Forza Motorsport wouldn't be able to implement something like that, to be able to help the users get to be able to help people get a little bit better experience when you're playing on a wheel on a setup. That would definitely help. It would make the experience a lot better. When it comes to trackside detail, let's talk about this for a minute. Now, there are some spots in the game that are not going to have really. Sometimes it doesn't always line up. Sometimes it looks a little bit off, but sometimes it looks absolutely incredible. There are times in this game, because of the freaking time of day, because it can just go from morning all the way into night and everything else. There's some spots in this game that absolutely are gonna look weird just because of that. Like, you're gonna get like daytime hours that are just gonna be looking like really, really off, like no shadows, no nothing. It's just gonna look super strange. But then you're gonna have times at nighttime, during rainstorms, early in the morning, afternoon, just all kinds of different times that you're gonna see some incredible, beautiful freaking vistas. You're gonna see some beautiful visuals. You're gonna see some really nice looking shadows and shade area. Like, this game here has the potential to deliver some of the most incredible looking freaking like visuals that you've also ever seen, and some of the worst looking visuals that you've ever seen. Like, that's just the name of the game for this one. I want to take a minute and I want to talk about the ROG Ally. So this is the ROG Ally footage. As you can see, that frame rate looks kind of low. For some reason, the PC does that too. It drops all the way kind of low for a minute, but then it kind of just, goes up and down during the races. We got medium low settings. We're set at 720p on this, and we are rocking medium low settings, and it actually holds up fairly well. Now, I did run these through. Now, I did record this with the ROG Ally dock, using the Xbox controller to do all my inputs and all of that stuff. But when I took it off and I was looking at it on the ROG Ally screen itself, this absolutely looks incredible. This game is so gosh dang beautiful on the ROG Ally. I'm amazed it even runs as good as it does. Now, when you got all these cars next to you, yeah, it kind of feels like the frame rate goes down. The further away you get away from all the cars, your frame rate will start to go up. You can get up to over 60 on this ROG Ally with these particular settings, running FSR in performance mode. If you wanted more performance, you could easily drop that down lower, but I just kind of felt like you would be giving up a little bit too much of like the visual quality, whereas like right here, like you still got a pretty decent balance to where it looks really, really good on the ROG screen, and where it's technically playable on a, you know, you can run this on like a 1080p monitor or something and still get a pretty convincing overall, you know, visual quality from this particular game. You are cutting back. You are cutting back on some pretty good like features though. But as you can see you still got like your little reflections on your hood, so that's kind of cool. I'll probably be able to find a way to tweak this a little bit more to get, you know, better settings. I do have the ROG Ally set to the 8 gigabyte for the for the VRAM set. I've got it split so that 8 gigs are going to the VRAM, but I feel like I can probably lower that down just a little bit because this right here wasn't taking all 8. So I could probably lower that down. There's like some settings that I can play around with to potentially get the image quality to look even better on ROG Ally. So I do feel like there's a lot of hope for that. And just playing this in handheld mode, running around Maple Valley, it looked incredible. Like it looked crisp, it looked detailed, it looked really good. Like, I mean, when you're watching this, you're going to see it and it's going to kind of look blown up and blown out and it's going to look a little blurry or whatever. But just know that, like, if you're on the ROG screen and you're on the go and you're taking this thing with you, it looks absolutely beautiful. Like, it is so beautiful. It is not even funny. Now, right now, like, when I started this game, I had a significant, like I had a whole bunch of cars. Like, I already had a bunch of cars that I could go in there and play around with. As you can see, I had the, this here is one of my cars that was already in my, this car here was already in my garage, so I was able to jump right into my my favorite car and just start driving around, which was pretty cool. Very happy to see that already there for me. Already got all of this on there. I was able to buy that Cadillac. Prices on cars seem pretty fair. The some of the other ones that I bought a BMW as well. I bought the BMW so that I could do the side by side for Gran Turismo. I bought that, and then I've been doing like some races. I've just been sitting here. I've been sitting here since like 1:30 today. I've just been getting in here. I've been playing around with it. I woke up this morning, got some time with this game. So I do feel like I'm going to be playing this a lot more. I don't know if I'm going to be running through the campaign anytime soon. I've also got but Assassin's Creed coming out tomorrow. So I'm going to do my best. I'll be making a bunch more content for this game. I'll be doing my best to show it off and get you guys excited about it. But like I said right now, I do kind of just feel like this game needs more content. So now we're purely looking at Xbox Series X in performance mode. This is something this is like one of the things. Like when you look at this, the nighttime racing on this game looks incredible. In the HDR, it looks so good it's not even funny. Now I I was playing around with the controller for this race. This is the Xbox Series X. We're running around. We're doing this race right now, and I'm just looking at this, and I'm in such amazement with how beautiful Forza Motorsport does look. There's some stuff in this game here that like obviously, yeah, it's gonna frustrate some people, but when it comes down to it, like in closing, this experience was built for everybody. This was built for the casual racer. This was built for the sim racer, and I do feel that way. I do feel like they've come in enough. I feel like they've put in enough work to make this a competitive experience for sim racers, for people that are wanting to bridge that gap and, you know, kind of move away from all the bumper car madness that Forza is usually known for. I'm gonna try to jump into the hoppers this weekend. I'm willing to play with people in the community. This weekend I want to jump in the hoppers. I want to see how that turns out. I was going to kind of wait for the full game to launch to kind of jump into the hoppers and you know, give everybody a chance to play around with it and stuff, and then jump in there and kind of see how that goes, because that's one of the things I really love about Forza is them freaking hoppers. I like getting in there and then you get like It does kind of suck that we're not going to have access to the what's it called? It does kind of suck that we're not going to have access to the spectator mode at launch. That really does kind of suck, because I usually like to get in there to kind of see how people are driving, see what their driving skill is, kind of see how they're going to, how they react to other drivers. And if it looks like a bumper car session, I usually kind of just stay out of there. I try to avoid that, and that's one thing that kind of sucks. So it's going to be kind of a mystery when we get into these hoppers now. You never know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get, man. So it's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Xbox community has grown. I'm hoping that maybe we can grow together with this game, and maybe find a way to become better racers. I've got to get in there and test out the new driver rating system for the online play and stuff, and see how that's gonna pan out, see how that's gonna work, see how there's just a lot. Like, this is not just a game that you buy and play for a couple days. Like, when you buy a game like Forza Motorsport, this game is something that you should be coming back to regularly to work on your racecraft. You should be coming back here to play this game, to get better, to work on your skill, to learn new things. I mean, getting in here and just playing through a campaign or whatever, yeah, that's great, that's fun. You could probably do that in a weekend. You could probably get through the whole campaign or whatever. But when you get into these games, and the whole point of buying a game like Forza Motorsport is because you love cars, is because you want to get better, you want to learn better driving mechanics and be able to compete with other people, even online, or just being able to turn up the difficulty and being able to keep pace, at least keep pace with the AI drivers. Now, I will tell you that the AI in this game, I don't remember what I had him set at. I think I had him set at like 3 or 4 or 5 or something. I don't remember, but I was able to pass him within the first lap and then stay ahead of him the whole time. So I'll probably be cranking the difficulty up when I actually get into here to start really playing. But I was just recording some of this footage so that I could have something to show you guys during this review. I do like this game. I do think that Turn 10 did a good job. I do think they created an amazing experience. But there are some things that I would like, for them to work on in terms of making this the ultimate experience. I want to see more content. I want to see more cars. I want to see more tracks. And I want to see, a little bit better handling models. So if you guys like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.